Hey guys, it's Pitar again, and I'll be reviewing my 2025 My True Ancestry account. So once again, for those of you that are new, I don't really do ancestry videos a lot, just things on my specific ancestry, and then my Transformers vids, and in the future my Dragon Ball Z board game vids. But that's all I do on this channel. But so my last name is Pitaluga. It's an Italian name. It's a Genoese name. It gets mislabeled Spanish name a lot, but I'm going to debunk that for you using My True Ancestry and what ancient origins present, and I've done it in other videos. But for your edification, this is a picture of my grandfather. He had blonde hair and blue eyes. He was Genoese. And my grandmother was Cuban, and my mother's Polish and Anglo-Saxon. Here's a picture of my family. That's me. It's my sister. She has blue eyes and blonde hair. It turned black as she got older. I was actually a blonde. I'm not going to bother showing you pictures because I could care less if you believe me or not. But I was a blonde until age like 4 or 5. So anyway, so this is my father's, right? Rick Pistol Pete, that's myself. Sonny Steelgrave, that's my father. So let's zoom in a little bit because I was trying to take a picture for Facebook. Because Premium Europe is just so darn big. All right. All right. So, according to ChatGPT, the earliest Copper Age Ligurians are from 5000 BC to 2400 BC. So, of course, that's the time frame we have, 5000 BC to 2400 BC, 10 samples. Even with only 10 samples, usually just 30. I set it extra low to 10 just to emphasize to you guys how Italian I am, right? So, let's up it to 30. I just wanted to prove the point that at the beginning of recorded history, I had ancestors in Italy, and none were even in Spain yet. So there you go. Pitalugas are Italian, even if their recent ancestry is Spanish, even if modern ancestry results tell them that they're, Spaniards or their fathers or grandfathers were Spaniards, they're still Genoese if their last name is Pitaluga truly on their father's side. I can factually say that I get a lot of flack for that because I understand a lot of people lie. Like, let's be real, right? A lot of people wish they were Cuban. They don't understand the history of, say, Mayor Lansky and Lucky Luciano, who was born in Italy. Running the Italian mafia, overthrowing Maranzano. I'm pretty sure it was Maranzano, and then the Castellamarese War. And then oh, but see, there you go. Okay, so there is some Spaniard when you up it to 31. But you have to remember this is not my grandfather's, this is my father's. Um, so uh my grandmother's last name was Marrero, which is Spanish. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pause it here and then move on to the next time frame, and then we'll move on to other aspects of my true ancestry. Okay, guys, back. So once again, still, this is Sonny Steelgrave, my father's kit. So now we're on to I believe, the Iron Age. We did the Bronze and Copper Age. Now we did the Iron Age and the Bell Beakers. Well, the Bell Beaker, then the Iron Age, right? 3000 BC moved it up to, and then ending in 403 AD. So yeah, here you could see during the time of the Iron Age, up until about like near the end of the Roman Empire, my ancestors were more like deep in the Alps and also descended from Etruscans, right, from the Genoese, right, and then the Marrero family, I suppose, in Spain from my Cuban grandma, um, is from, I guess, Catalonia and some part in Gibraltar, right, as well as, like, of course, because Italians, you guys can see my cursor, I'm pretty sure, so when you talk about Hellenics, Italians, like Romans, are kind of southern, um, France, northern Italy, central Italy, southern Italy, and then south, eastern Spain. You know, but the Hellenics here are intermingled with Southern Italians, but Northern Italians can have Illyrian, and I'll get into that later as we move forward with the the ending of the Roman Empire. What is it? Roman Republic, and into early medieval. So we're gonna do Roman Republic into early medieval next. Okay, so once again, I'm showing you Sonny Steelgrave, Rook Pistol Pete, right? That's my dad's, right? So now we're doing the early medieval period after the late Roman Republic, right? So you can see now this is more close to Castile and Leon for my grandmother, who's Cuban, and my Italian grandfather. You could see more in northern Italy again. It wasn't, it was more like, Alp, Germanic side of Alps. For a while, and then central Italy. Now it's got some northern Italian again. Right, of course, still some more of the Hellenics, and then some. I'm not really sure that a lot of that stuff could be the English. I would assume is from the Italian, but um, maybe some of the Germanic could be from Spain because Visigoths and things like that are also in Spain. Hard to say. Moving on. Okay, moving on once again. Sonny Steelgrave, Rook Pistol Pete, the first two kits. So here we're doing the Renaissance, early modern Italy period, which is 480 AD, end of the Roman Empire till about 1707, right before the American Revolution. And you can see that that I have once again some English, some French. Some of the northern French here is probably from my Cuban grandma because she had a French grandparent, I think. So there's a little bit of French on the Cuban side. Some the most northern Germanics probably from the Spain. The more Hellenic, North Balkan is probably from the Italian. Some Sicilian from the Genoese because of maritime and naval routes. Like you see where my cursor is going throughout the Black Sea, the Aegean Sea, into the Ligurian Sea, right through, Sicily and things like that, and Genoa controlled Sicily through the Spanish. And of course, there's definitely some Spanish in the Genoese at this point during the late Italian. And I'll show you in a minute on my heritage how the Genoa community group for the migrations, their journeys or communities or whatever they call them now, genetic groups, shows that Genoa itself has some Spain intermixed. So that's the gist of it for maps. Now we're going to move on to the breakdown of what and again, my dad is not truly 100% Italian. He's not even truly half Italian, but in other videos I showed you during the Iron Age, my grandfather, according to my heritage, was 100% continental Celt from Etruria. Etruria. So Etruria is descended from, or their descendants are the Etruscans of Italy, even though they're Celts, because Ligurians, Genoese in north west Italy near southern France are related through the Celts to the Etruscans. And I showed in that video that my father's DNA showed 50% continental Celt from Etruria. So, but despite that, there's intermix with Spain and England and things like that in modern centuries and other videos I've done with Spanish in Cuba and in Spain, Canary Islands, the My Heritage modern results and other videos. You can check that out. But this is just an overall breakdown of the ancient peoples, current makeup of my father, who was 100% Cuban, half from Pinar del Rio Mantua, Cuba, which is named after Mantova, Italy, which is my Genoese grandfather, and then my Cuban grandma from Oriente. So Visigoths, 19.7. That's going to have to be the a mixture from both my grandparents because Visigoths invaded Spain. Italy, not as much, but Illyrians, definitely the Genoese, right? Definitely the Genoese. Roman Hispania, probably mostly my Italian grandfather, was probably some my grandmother too, because you got to figure it's not as though like all Spaniards are Italian, but they have some like Roman Hispania, like some Roman, but not necessarily like like modern like complex specific mixture, like like after the early Roman period Italian DNA from Italy. You know what I mean? There is a difference. Aquitani, that's Basque. Um, that's probably my Cuban grandma. Gallo-Celtic, Sequani, definitely my Genoese grandfather, because that's a Celtic group. Vascones, that's Basque. Etruscans, definitely my Luca grandfather, Cenomani, definitely my Italian grandfather. That's a opposite northern side of Italy, Celtic group in Italy, the Cenomani, Iberians. I mean, if the Iberian itself is that small, I guess it's got to go to the Marrero family, so that's going to go to my Cuban grandma. Belgay, definitely the Genoese grandfather. Piceni, that's an Italian tribe right from the Iron Age. Let me read it. Wait, I don't see the Roman Republic. The Tron in Cesano in the north. Yeah, so it's a northern Italic tribe. It does say at the beginning. I missed it. Cantabrians, that's Spanish. That's from my Cuban grandma. Rieti, it's Italian. Gallo-Romans, Italian. Uh, Pannonian Illyrians, that's Italian. Phoenicians, that's the Italian, or probably the Spanish as well. The Franks, that's Italian. Celtiberians, that little, probably the Italian Aussie tribe. Spanish and Celts for the Genoese. All right, so now the breakdown of the top 5 groups of my dad's overall makeup compared to ancient DNA with my father's DNA, him himself being a modern person, and the answer is the number 1 is Roman Hispania. Obviously, because of the modern intermixing of Spain, you can pause and read it if you want. With the Genoese grandfather that I had, his father, and obviously some regular Spaniards have some Roman Hispania from the early Roman period as well. But yeah, that's why Visigoths. Yeah, they went through it right. I mean, they went all throughout, but again, that's not really a marker of Italian, so that's probably a little bit of both. This is some Genoese coming through. Gallo, Celtic, Sequani on the borders of the Swiss countries, Germany and Italy. Right, Francis was right. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. From the Iron Age, that's the Aquitania, is the Cuban, and Illyrians. Right, that's what I was saying. Like those Hellenic peoples, but they had colonies in southern Italy. That's the Genoese, right? Because the Genoese intermarried into southern Italians and had Spanish royalty titles in southern Italy and Spanish colonies. So there you go. Is there anything else I could do while I'm still here? Deep dive results. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them are Italian, Illyrian, Imperial Rome, like this dramatic house stayed in Balbi, it's Italian. Hungary is probably from the Italian. Lombard grave, Gallo-Roman, that's Italian. See, most of these top results, oh, yeah, I can show you guys this. Hey guys, so this is the ancient Italic tribes, and as you can see, with one group I'm in the top 2%, and with all 2 of them I'm in the top 2%, and in 3 of them I'm in the top 1% of matching ancient Italic peoples in Italy. So, and they're all Celtic, like, Northern Italians, you know, uh, so again, like, which shows through. Ligurian, like actual, see Liguria is right near Genoa in the center, right here where my cursor is. Right, so yeah, I mean, yeah, right, it says right here, I've said it in other videos, they occupied much of northwest Italy, southern France, and parts of Catalonia, which is in Spain, like I said. Celto-Ligurians is what they're often called, right? Gauls gives you a pretty good view, although I don't see Gauls here. One second. On my page on Facebook, which I advertised for in other videos, Federini the Great, I posted a whole profile for the MyHeritage capture stills from my father's and mine for ancient origins as Genoese Cubans, and as you can see, 53.4% continental count from Etruria, which are the Etruscans, right? And as you can see, Cisalpani, right there where I highlighted, that's Ligurian coin, which is for Ligurians. It's only shows you on certain angles on My True Heritage, but I'm showing it to you guys, and probably also because he intermarried in the Spanish, the Celti Iberi, right, which are Gauls. But see, as you can see here, Gauls isn't here because Gauls is French. It's not French, it's Italian. So French is the Gaul is excluded. Franks is included, but Gaul is excluded because they're Romanized because they're originally Italian. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it works. Samnites, the Romans, in Hebrew mythos and some Christian circles with Kabbalah and things like that, they say Esau, the brother of Jacob, right, represent Rome and the Jews, and Rome is Western Europe and things like that, and that Esau, would inherit the promises of, before the Messiah and things like that, and All you can read about it, like in Columbus and the Quest for Jerusalem, and this is not to preach any religion, because I believe like as long as you do the right thing, that's what matters. But um, it's history is very interesting with like the ancient Middle Eastern origins of the Romans, being a tribe but like connected. The Belgae, of course, that's like Germanic, Batavi, right? Okay. Uh, Nemetes, right? Western Scythians, right? That's more like, like almost like a Black Sea, like, south of Russia. Rieti, like that's an Italian, like Germanic Etruscan people. Etruscans, like, that's Greeks. Those are Etruscans. That's kind of showing you like Italian makeup. The Etruscans are the native northern Italians that were in Celts, right? The most northern and north, west, and eastward are Celts, and then the central northerns are Etruscans, and then the southern centrals are the Romans. Piceni, right? You could pause and see here. Henneti, right? You can see here Sicily and things like that. Latins, right, in central Italy. That's not the Romans, but and you guys saw it all. So that's pretty much everything that I have to present. I hope you guys enjoyed the Genoese history with me, a Genoese Cuban. Thank you. Bye.